Hi everyone, Chris here from O'Donnell's Guitars. Today I'm going to give you a very quick and easy demonstration on how to set the intonation on your guitar. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to be using a Fender Strat. Don't worry if you have a different guitar. The principles of what I'm going to demonstrate and explain are exactly the same for any guitar. It's just the adjustments, depending on the hardware configuration that you have, may be slightly different. Okay, let's get straight into it. So intonation, what is it and why is it important? Well, for practical purposes, the intonation needs to be spot on because when you tune your guitar, you tune the open strings. And if the intonation isn't perfect, even when the open strings are in tune, when you fret further up the register, particularly in the higher register, the notes will be out of tune, and that's no good. So what we need to do is we need to set the intonation so that when the open strings are in tune, all the notes on the neck are also in tune. Very, very easy to do. So essentially, intonation represents the ratio of the distance between the nut and the 12th fret and the distance between the 12th fret and the saddle. So the 12th fret should lie exactly in the middle in distance terms between the nut and the saddle. If it's not perfectly in the middle, the intonation will be slightly out. So we need to adjust these distances. Now we can't move the nut and we can't move the 12th fret, but we can move the saddle. And that's how we adjust the intonation, by moving the saddles backwards and forwards. So how do you check that the intonation is right or if it's slightly out? You'll need a guitar tuner. So let's demonstrate. Turn the tuner on. Now I'm going to demonstrate just how to set the intonation on the top E. However, once you've got the intonation on the top E, the procedure for setting the other strings is exactly the same. Right, so first of all, let's get the top E in tune. Slightly sharp. Okay, so the top E is in tune. So if the intonation's perfect, the 12th fret will also be in tune. Okay, so the 12th fret is sharp. Now this is where we need to think about which way we need to move the saddle. So if the 12th fret is sharp, then the distance between the 12th fret and the saddle is too short. If the 12th fret is slightly flat, the distance between the 12th fret and the saddle is too long. So because we're sharp, the distance is too short. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the saddle backwards in order to increase that distance. Now, the first thing I would recommend you do is take a cloth, place it on the body of the guitar, raise the bridge with the trem arm, and slot the cloth underneath. Now, when we get in there with the screwdriver, we won't risk damaging the body. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some tension off the string. Okay, now the distance was too short, so we need to move the saddle backwards in order to increase the distance. So we place the screwdriver in here, and to move the saddle backwards, we need to screw the screw in, which will pull the saddle back. So I'm going to give it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns. I can see it moving there. Okay, now we're going to tune the string back up. Okay, and now we'll check the 12th fret again. Perfect. So the intonation on the top E is spot on. All you need to do is simply repeat exactly the same procedure with all the other strings, and then your intonation will be perfect. If you change the gauge of your strings, you may need to check the intonation again if you have a floating tremolo system. If it's not floating, it should be perfect. It should remain exactly right indefinitely. But hope this is useful. I hope you can go off now and set your guitar up exactly as you want it. Get the intonation perfect. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. Thanks and bye for now.